Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a VV OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. I'm going to say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Likes as well. So, we're going to talk about a couple of things. I just had a tweet brought up to me by God's Entry. We all know and love him. He's been on the podcast before. He might be on the podcast again with a couple other people soon. But there's a couple things that I want to talk about, one of which is this tweet from God's Entry saying, at Real Randy Chavez, they worried about IP, VPverse, OMI burn before an exchange. Kind of like cart before the horse situation, and I'll read you some of the things and then we'll take it from there. Notori says, what if the exchange is already in the bag, it's just a when? And God's Entry mentions that the point is one person shouldn't be able to move the price 30% with the 2 million markets buy. Creates an unsafe investing environment. For those that don't know, we were at 0007 because there was someone who was either forced liquidated, trying to manipulate the market, was a bad actor. Nobody knows for sure. People probably know for sure, but this person was selling a couple billion OMI, and not too many people are 100% sure why. And that's part of the reason why we went down to 0007 was because somebody was selling a couple billion OMI, whether it's because they had to, they were playing a game, they wanted to, whatever. What somebody else did, no idea who it was, but somebody decided to say, like, this is stupid. I'm going to spend a couple $1 million and I'm going to buy the whole sell wall. Straight up. And that person spent a couple $1 million and it pumped the price. I don't know if it pumped at 30%, but it pumped like a good 25%. So when you have that, you have God's Entry concern saying the point is one person shouldn't be able to do that with just a $2 million buy order. Creates an unsafe environment. So NFT holder says, everyone has a good point. At the end, do we want the company to burn as much as possible, as soon as possible? If yes, that means we need OMI to be as hard to get as possible as we burn the most possible before any pumps happen, utility token, metaverse branding, exchange listing, etc. And God's Entry says, burn all you want. My point is true money is not going to come until it's a reasonable environment to buy and sell. And if somebody can pump the price with $2 million, then they could buy and sell. And then, then they're not going to do it. It's not considered safe because that same person could theoretically dump. Kay went over what type of wallet it was, where that type of wallet and maybe that type of person most likely would not dump. I'll let you guys know right now. I know who it is. They're not dumping. That is a long-term hold. They might liquidate, as we go up, but they're not dumping. So let me go and say that bringing this up, piggybacking on what God's Entry was saying, okay, where do we go from here? Let's say we don't get an exchange. Granted, we were supposed to get several exchanges this year, but because of the recession, bear market, Russia invading Ukraine, a whole bunch of craziness happening, it was decided to not go on major exchanges. Because if you go into a new exchange in a bear market, it tends to have the opposite effect of what you want. That's why Earth 2 decided to delay. They were supposed to come out in Q3 this year with their cryptocurrency, Essence, which I happen to have about 39,000 of, 40,000. But they are not doing so, and they delayed it about a year. Probably middle of next year, Q2, Q3 of next year is when Earth 2 is going to do that Essence. But having said that, that doesn't mean that we won't have some exchanges sooner. We might have some smaller ones, and then maybe KuCoin, Kraken, and Binance and Coinbase. You probably want to save those for last. But odds are we are going to get some this year or in 2023. When? I don't know. And I don't know which ones they're going to be. But having said that, what if we don't? And this leads me to a very, very curious spot, because we will have VVverse. We will not be just rebranded as a utility token, but a metaverse token. But before that happens, what else is going on? Well, we're going to have a new Congress in 2024, and you have the FTC, the SEC, the Chamber of Commerce. You have so many of these three-letter agencies that are all trying to justify their existence by going and saying, hey, we have, we're doing this on some of the small budget that we have. If Washington gave us more money, think of all the good we can do. So you have the FTC, the SEC, Chamber of Commerce, and everyone else trying to rush at crypto, trying to pass regulation, because then they can justify their existence. They can try to demand more money. And then in that same breath, you have Congress and you have members of the Senate all going, and they're wanting to try to punish crypto as well. And guess what? Why? Because they can go back to their constituents, so they can say, this is what we did to protect you. A lot of people were getting scammed. I helped stop it. Even though they're just what they're really doing is actually crippling the crypto market. And then you have Biden, who I guarantee you does not understand crypto. I guarantee you some of his advisors do. I interviewed one of them, and he's into OMI, and he's into VV. So when you have all of that happening in conjunction with, if you take a look at a lot of other people that are in the market, if you take a look at a lot of other people that this is not their first rodeo, that say, oh yeah, what we have now is just a really bad bear market, but max pain is coming in 2023. A lot of people are calling for not just like one of the worst recessions we've seen in a while. Unemployment's not spiked yet. And the housing market, which has gone up consistently for about the last 14 years, we are due for a correction on the housing market. So if we have unemployment go up, we have this really bad recession in 2023 and a market crash for the housing market in conjunction with this new sweeping crypto, which is going to lessen crypto even more. That might be the thing that we need for Bitcoin to capitulate. It's very possible that we can go back down to 0007 and even lower. Let's not say lower. Let's not say 0005, although anything's possible. Let's just say we only go down to those lows that we saw at 0007, right? And then let's say that we also have a land sale in the VVverse, because we will. It was noted, Reese had said that we will start staking at some point this year. And well before we're able to receive one of the benefits of staking, which is if you lock up your OMI for 1 year, you can do it each quarter, but if you lock them up, and you'll get benefits for each quarter that you lock it up. If you can lock it up for 1 year, you will get what's called a golden ticket. And that golden VV ticket will allow you can redeem it for a piece of land in the VVverse. So let's say we start of Q3 in 2023. That means that you'll be able to go and redeem that ticket after 1 year in Q4 of 2024. But when I asked Reese about buying land, he said most likely you'll be able to buy land in the VVverse before you redeem that ticket, before you're able to redeem that ticket. So most likely we're going to be able to have land, if not next year, at least 2024, probably before the Bitcoin halving. So if we do have a land sale next year, and they have said before, the team, they want to go and be able to make it so that only OMI can be used to buy that land, well, let's look at some other places. Virtua, formerly known as Terra Virtua, they changed their name to Virtua to disassociate themselves from Terra Luna. They raised about $72 million, and most people outside of crypto, outside of NFTs, know diddly squat about Virtua. Bored Ape Yacht Club, again, most people outside of the crypto world and NFTs know diddly squat about Bored Ape Yacht Club. But what are some things and some licenses, and this is my absolute, I have a bear case, for the next bull run. The bear case is only at like maybe 5 cents next bull run. My base case is like 10 to 20 cents. My bull case is maybe up to 30, 35-ish, whatever. I'll tell you my bull case, but I'll go through this first. Bored Ape Yacht Club, I think, raised over $100 million on their land sale, or Yuga Labs. So let's take, again, this is my Golden Goose case for what OMI could be in 2025. And this Golden Goose case has a less than 1% chance of happening, I think, but a greater than 0%. It's possible maybe 2%, but all of these things have to happen. We have to have the housing crisis, we have to have the recession get really worse. We have to have sweeping regulation with crypto that affects most of the crypto market. But in this Golden Goose scenario, it has to affect most of the crypto market, but not OMI, which I'm very confident that that is one of the things that will happen, because there will be dubious, ridiculous laws passed. But because OUP, the OMI utility program, is very malleable, if the regulation comes and suddenly people at VV get a call and they say, yeah, by the way, this, and this, all part of your OUP, makes OMI a security. Well, guess what? We can just amend OUP so that we either take those things out or we add new things that make those things that make it a security non-existent. And then suddenly we're a utility token again, and we're a metaverse token again. So that will probably happen regardless. But why we need that, and again, I don't want this, because I want the market to do well. I want people to do well. But in this scenario, if we do have max pain, if we do have that recession, that big recession, and we do have the housing market collapse, and that gets only down to, let's just say 0007. Hopefully, in my eyes, 0005 or below, because then we can stack more and then we burn more. But for now, let's be conservative and say 0007. And let's also say that because of a lot of the other licensors that are with VV, let's say only half of them that are well known. Let's say like Universal, let's say, Cartoon Network. I'm not even talking about let's again, this is a Super Bowl Golden Goose scenario. Let's just imagine for a minute that we could have a Disneyverse in the VVverse, or at least Disneyverse has their own thing. Their metaverse might be, but maybe we have a portion of it, or we have our own special thing with VV for the Mighties, for the Star Wars stuff. What will happen if we have a bunch of people that finally get it, that say, oh, there's we could buy the first pieces of land right next to the first digital Disneyland? People are going to go absolutely ape over that. So let's just say that even with that popularity, we only raise as much as Yuga Labs did. And that's $100 million, right? All used in OMI, all being burned. So if we take $100 million and we divide that by 0.0007, that is 142.8 billion OMI that's burned, not including the 5.5 billion OMI that is being burned by out of the dev wallet, not including other stuff like bronze tickets, like staking, and that's not including staking. Jesus. Let's just say we burn half the supply. And again, this is the Golden Goose case, probably less than 1% chance. You're looking at 150 billion OMI. If we can do that, if we can cut that in half, and we get big money coming in, because again, we've pumped from triple zeros to over a penny just on OMI utility when we didn't have Marvel, we didn't have Disney, we didn't have all these amazing things. That was just with some light utility with the token back in early 2021, back in last year. That's not old ancient news. That's recent. That is last year. If we go and we do this again, and we have a raging bull market in 2025, which I expect, and most people expect, I'm not alone in that. The majority believe that after the next Bitcoin halving 2024, that's what we have. 30 cents at that point is, that is, I don't want to say laughable. Most of the top 10 will have well over $100 billion market caps. We'll have multiple $100 billion market caps, and some will probably even have, Bitcoin will have $1 trillion, Ethereum might have $1 trillion. But I would say it's very, very possible for $100 billion market cap, if not 150. Now, why? Well, Doge last time in the last bull run got up to almost $100 billion market cap. It was over 90 billion. And that is no utility. That is not deflationary. That's an inflationary token. There's more printed every single day and with no utility. When you have something like OMI, which is deflationary and associated with Disney, if Disney goes on call in 2024, right? And they say, hey, here's this new line item number that we have. And by this point, every big company, whether it's Tesla, Apple, all the tech stocks, whatever, they go and they talk about their previous earnings. They're going to have a call in Q4 that goes over Q3. Like Tesla just had a call recently in the last couple months going over their Q3 quarterly results, saying that they netted about 3.3 billion and they had this and that. Disney has those calls as well. People, I'm sure, have inquired about it. Some people might know about it this way by going over their financials, going over the line item numbers. Maybe they see Marvel, maybe they see VV, but it's just a small thing like that. Nobody really, it's not a ton of money right now, at least compared to what they bring in. However, if Disney decides to get on a call in Q4 of 2024, about 2 years from now, after the Bitcoin halving, and they say, as you notice this new line item number, we have bought 1% or 5% or 10% of VV, and OMI is now in being accepted as payments in the park. And again, Golden Goose scenario, less than 1% chance, but maybe more. Yeah, $1. Done. So that's the explanation for the $150 billion market cap. Because again, Doge is accepted on like the Tesla store to buy like Tesla shorts and maybe Tesla Kila. I know you could pay Bitcoin. You could buy it, Cybertrucks and cars with Bitcoin, but you can't do it with Doge. You might be able to pay your $8 a month on Twitter with Doge at some point. But also, yeah, Disney is not the only company that has the potential to do that. There is other companies that I might have mentioned in my last live video that might accept OMI. There might be other people on the podcast that I've had on recently in the last month or so where their platform might accept OMI. Just throwing that out there. Okay, I don't know anything. I know things. At that point, $150 billion market cap. Well, what does that get? If we burn half the supply of OMI, and we only have 150 billion OMI, that's $1. And again, I barely even included staking in this, when that locks up a lot. So yeah. And then that's only the first part of OUP. It's not include stuff in the VVverse. I mean, I'd include the land sale, but I'm not talking about the day-to-day stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff on VV will continue to sell. Their prices will rise a lot. But what about the smaller transactions? What about the microtransactions? The microtransactions that just cost a couple dollars. It's going to be very hard for, a kid whose parents are working paycheck to paycheck to ask for a couple $1,000s. That's not happening, for these NFTs. But this kid might be able to say like, oh, hey, there's this new character called, the VV letters. And like Pokemon, maybe the VV letters can follow you around, or, the Marvel Mighties can follow you around. That chimichanga truck is $17, 18 gems. And if you have a little truck following you around, that's cool. The microtransactions are where it will make a lot of money as well. And will burn a lot of OMI. This video is getting really long. I just wanted to explain and justify this answer on how it could happen. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I hope you guys goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.